Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be in the mind of God, wherever you happen to be roaming around, in what part of God's brain that you are, I hope that you are able to acknowledge and recognize your current emotional states, not of just this moment, but of the past week, possibly the past 6 weeks. We have gone through a lot of changes emotionally, spiritually, everything that's affected our Pepsi, basically, our physical body, emotional body, psychological body, and spiritual body of our individual self. Our Pepsis. And a lot of us have had a lot of breakthroughs. A lot of us have had a lot of emotional moments. Even my friends who are still asleep have written me and saying, gosh, I just feel so nostalgic. It's like I can't stop thinking about the past. I can't stop crying. Another friend of mine said, I've been so angry, I could spit all week. And I don't really know what happened to me. I don't know what's overcoming me, but it's like I'm so freaking angry. And some of my friends have let go of their friendships this week. Like 20, 30-year friendships gone. Oh, well, bye. Fuck off. I don't want to know you anymore. I mean, some major stuff going down, right? A lot of you are just in a space of grace. And by the way, from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle cards by Victoria Mosley, today's card is grace. And I've been thinking about this. I was thinking about this before I pulled the card, about the emotional state of all of us. Like we all have something different going on, but collectively we are having more deeper and intense emotions than normal. If you're prone to the occasional bout of sadness, you might be in a profound depression right now. It's like deeper, it's more so. And if you're in a normally happy, positive mood, maybe you are in a state of ecstasy and bliss right now. Whatever your typical state is, it's like amplified. It's like somebody put a giant diamond underneath you and lit it on fire, and you're like, oh, being super amplified. It just feels like that to me. I've been a little bit worried. I've been a little anxious and fearful, and I've been literally every single day spending time with myself trying to air out the anxiety, air out the fear of my future, air out all those things. I'm just airing it out. And then I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm good and I have great ideas and everything's wonderful. And then it comes back. And sometimes the anxiety isn't even mine. Sometimes it's the neighbors, but then it gets amplified so much so that I can't even function sometimes. I've had whole hours where I just sit in fear, barely able to breathe, before I realize, holy crap, that's not even my emotion. Dude, what the fuck? Like, I don't need this. Oh my God, send it back. Return to sender, baby. But I've noticed that today my biggest thing was my frustration. My frustration at the fact that I have done 560 plus episodes of this show, and I'm just making a couple dollars a day. I feel like I put in the effort, I put in the work, They always say, do what you love and the money will follow. Is it going to follow my death? Because it hasn't followed me so far, you know? And I'm just like, oh my God, I've done every law of attraction book. I've done every law of attraction movie. I've done all the meditations. I've done the binaural beats. I've done the isochronic tones. I've done, this, I've done that. I've done everything. I've read, I've done the workbooks. I've done the things that you need to do to pull in the money, and it's like, and yet my impact on the world is not what I want it to be, and I keep asking God and I keep getting the same kinds of answers. It's coming. You're ready. It's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, great. And here a month later, when's it going to happen again, dude? Cause it's not happening yet. What? Like I believed you. Here it comes again. And I feel like the same thing has been happening with all of us. That frustrational feeling of, okay, you said we're going to go to the fifth dimension. You said we're going to be there. And we're physically here. We're mentally, emotionally, spiritually here. And yet it feels like very little has changed. And it's that frustration of, I did the fucking work. I did the meditation. I went to the groups. I was nice to everybody. I cut out all the people in my life that were dragging me down. I wished them well. I learned to love everyone on earth. I did all the work. So, where's my freaking halo and wings, baby? Not that that's literally physically going to happen. I mean, it'd be awesome if it did. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay. But where is the rest of it, though? A lot of you did find your union this past year, and that is amazing. A lot of us are still waiting, and we're like, what the hell? Like, why are we last? You know what I mean? Like, why do we choose that for ourselves? I mean, frankly, I would rather be the last group to get my twin flame in my life if it meant we would never have the twin flame runner scenario. I would rather not be completely, totally in love, and then all of a sudden he's no longer in my life and I'm alone again. I mean, I feel like I'm so emotional and I'm such an empath, and I feel things so deep that would probably freaking kill me. I'd literally die of loneliness. I actually had a lifetime where I died of loneliness. My heart literally broke, and I died of that. I couldn't even eat, and I starved myself to death for 3 weeks. It took like 3.5 weeks. It was ridiculous. And I was pregnant with my love's baby, and he died in battle in France. And it was like, oh my God, I didn't want anyone to know I was with child because I didn't want to ruin his reputation. I knew if my dad found out that this guy had impregnated me, he would have dug up his bones instead of the honored burial he was given. He would have dug up his bones and maybe kicked me out of the house, And I was just like, I couldn't risk it. So I starved myself to death. My heart was broken. It was like, and he wasn't even my twin flame. He was my main squeeze, my romantic partner, soulmate that I had again and again and again and again in multiple lifetimes. He was my main guy that we chose many lifetimes to live together, be together, try for the marriage and kids together. And every life we failed except this one. Finally, I had kids with him. And then he dies early anyway. I told him, I'm going to wring your neck, man. And when I see you in heaven, it's over. Told him while he's on his deathbed. I'm like, I'm never, ever reincarnating with you again, dude. This was literally my last time with you. I'm glad that we got married. I'm glad we had a beautiful life together. I'm glad we have our kids. But the fact that you're checking out early, you just really pissed me off with this one, honestly. This I told him while he's on his deathbed. I'm not a fluffy bunny type of person. I'm not going to be like, it's okay for all the hell you put me through. Let me just hold your hand. Stroke your hair. Oh, not that he had hair. He's bald. But still, I'm just not that kind of person. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to say my damn piece. I don't care if it pisses you off. Carry it to the next world. They'll help you. They'll help you over there. I told him I love you. I'm pissed off at you. You're checking out on your own kids. We're never, ever reincarnating together again. I will never be with you again. Because I can't. It's just I can't with that anymore. I'm done. My karma with you is done. We did it. As far as I'm concerned, if it was a debt, if it was something we had to settle, if it was a bet, I bet we can't do it this time. I bet we can. I mean, I don't know what it was, but we finally got it. And I'm like, I'm the hell out, dude. I mean, now I'm going to go find my twin flame. You know, I didn't tell him that, but I was like, I'm going to go find my twin flame, you know. You know, or just live a wild life until I die, I guess. I don't know. I mean, what else do I do? I mean, it is what it is, right? But there's this frustration, this sense of like, well, God, you know, we wanted this year to be so good. And by the way, I don't know what the hell happened with me last night. I hope that the show was okay. You know, it's like I kept leaving my body, and there was like beings I think kept pulling me out of my body, and I felt like someone was trying to talk through me, and I was like looking at the screen, reading it, and then I would see like the screen would go kind of blurry or fuzzy, and I would see a different screen, and it would have different words on it, and I thought I was reading the right screen, and then all of a sudden I would just like brrr, you know, shake my head, get my head out of it, and all of a sudden the screen would change and be totally different words. I honestly feel like possibly I was phasing into a different timeline where things were 20% different, or 2% different. I mean, that might have been what, maybe I was hopping to a new timeline. I felt wild. I felt really like crazy. I can't explain it other than how I'm explaining it already. You know, it's just like, ah. I just looked, it was 11:22. There's two numbers for you. I don't know. I've been frustrating, or feeling frustrated, and I hate that feeling because it's like, it's not productive, and it's an impetus to change. Yes, of course it is. But it doesn't feel productive. It doesn't feel like a safe haven. It's not a safe place to be, you know? And I know a lot of you are frustrated with a lot of things in your life. You know, I'm feeling frustration about you have to move, and it's frustrating because you have to move, and moving is annoying. You know, or you need to move out of a relationship and you don't want to, and that's annoying, you know? And there's been a lot of annoyance and a lot of frustration lately. And for me, it's been about the money thing. It's like, I know I'm doing everything right. I mean, I'm calling it in on so many levels. And my friend told me today, he said, you know, when that dam breaks, you'll never worry about money again. You're going to be totally fine. You know, you're just like, there's like maybe one missing link. There's like one thing. And he bought me a book to help me through it. So I started to skip around the book. It's how he said he did it at first. Just look around, skip around. And then eventually he literally read every word per word, you know, through this book. It's Barbara Stanny's book, Overcoming Under-Earning. And you just go through it. It's like a workbook. And he had just sent this to me, and I haven't quite fully gotten into it yet. So I know maybe that might be the missing link. I don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of books like this. Maybe this is the one. I mean, he was always broke, and then he went through this. He went through it 3 whole times to make sure he wanted to fix his whole subconscious world. And he says, now I'm not a person that ever asks for money. I'm the person who lends it to other people. You know, I'm the one with the money now. He says, I'm the wealthy one out of all the people I know. And before, he was always the one that was just like broke and scared and on the verge of homelessness, you know. And so he was in that situation. And he's from Detroit, which is funny. I've known Kyle for a long time, like at least a dozen years. And I just found out recently he's from Detroit. I'm like, that's weird, because, you know, I went back to Detroit and I bought a house. And I lived in it for 14 months. And I'd never been ever in Michigan or any state, you know, I'd never been to any state east of the Mississippi River. And I just out on a whim, my kids said, I want to live in the U.S. again, Mom. after we'd lived in Mexico and Guatemala. And I'm like, all right, we'll go buy a cheap ass house in Detroit and fix it up. And if they don't like us, and people, in our neighborhood, if we don't like them and they don't like us and we don't get along, at least we've helped the neighborhood and we can move. We'll sell it at a decent price, where we're going to boost everybody's house, but at the same time, we might make a little bit of a profit, and then we can use that money to travel further. We could, that was like the plan. And got there and broke my leg, bought the house, sat in my house for 6 months recovering from a broken leg, and unable to really do any of the work on my house, which is so frustrating. And it seems like this frustrational crap has been a part of my life for probably, I would say 7 years, maybe 10, honestly. Right when my husband died, I think might be my pinpointed point of that. But it was also around the year 2012 when we all started having this massive shift. And I know that a lot of you are going through a lot of similar things. I mean, a lot of people in the world are like losing their homes to fires and floods and hurricanes. And, there's riots and there's protests in the streets and there's all kinds of craziness. And since 2012, actually, things have been not really the same. I've never lived in the 1950s, as far as I know, in Middle America, but when I see shows from that era, a part of me kind of, in spite of the sexism, a part of me feels like I wished I was there still. Like I wish I could go back to a simpler time where, the biggest difference in my day is like an ice cream truck coming down the lane. It's 10 minutes late or something, like if that was like, the topic we can talk about, because that was different. Like, like there's so much change. There's so much constant, stuff, but we have a lot of opportunities. We do. And I know that that's true. But I've felt this collective sort of intensity. That's what it is. It's not just about frustration. It's not just about depression or anxiety. It's not just about, the seeming bipolarity of this world. Really, like the chickens are coming home to roost, right? It just feels like that. Like when we have happy days, they're extraordinarily happy. When we have sad days, we're like, I don't care if I ever wake up again. You know what I mean? It's like, it's frustrating because of the intensity of it. We're not used to this level of constant tension at this level of emotional intensity. And it's just what I'm feeling. It's just my perception of it, maybe. But from what I've heard from a lot of you, it's the same thing. It's just, I'm just tired of it. Like I told you yesterday on Philip, he said, I'm just tired of this shit happening to me. Too much weird shit. And it's like every day, and it's like all the time, and it's just too weird. Like, he's a frustrated Virgo, and I feel that frustration. It's like, that's a part of my own heart, that frustration in the Virgo heart. Like, oh, why can't things just freaking be perfect? Why can't they just go smoothly? Why can't, the store deliver me a piece of steak from a cow that I ordered, rather than a wild animal that, God forbid, might even be an endangered species for all I freaking know? Like, what the hell was that? My son just made the steak where we're like, God, if we take a bite of this and it's terrible, there goes our dinner. That's like our protein for like the week. It was enough meat for us, to have, at least for me, to have 2 or 3 days worth of protein. And I don't have an income anymore, so I can't waste it. And it's like, but if it doesn't taste good, if I'm like, it's like frustrating. Like, why can't shit work right? It's like they always say, if it ain't broke, why fix it? But everything is broke suddenly. And we're scrambling to fix it with our emotions, and we don't know how to do it any other way. And that might be the secret. That might be the key. This might be the point of grace that we needed. This is when we stop and we step back and we look at this and we realize, oh crap, it was us all along. It was our emotions all along. It was our responsibility all along. All right, now I forgot where I was because I don't know if you could tell, my son came up and he had a piece of the vicuña. He wanted me to taste it. He just got it off the barbecue. And so I paused it and I went down and I ate with my son just now. And, okay, I have a vicuña report. I'll tell you about it in a minute, but let's get back to where I was. Hopefully I can remember exactly where I was. So what if it is our fault, right? In a way, we have to manipulate our world with our minds and our emotions, but our emotions can get out of control. We have to have a balance of everything. So we have to get rid of all the junk and the gunk from, all the different aspects of ourself. And we have to manipulate the matter through the mind over matter. And so what if it is our doing, we do all the things physically we need to do. We know we have to do all the stuff. We got to do all the work. We work on the shadow side. We work on the everything, like to bring our twin flame unions, for example. I know I've done all the work, every time I pick up a deck of cards anymore and I say, okay, higher self, please contact my guardian angel and tell my holy guardian angel to pull out the card I need to know. What today can I do? What today can I work on? What today do I need to do in order to bring about my twin flame union? What can I do to elicit that elusive phone call? And the cards I keep getting are like, you're ready. Today, I pulled out a different card deck and I said, okay, what is the one thing I need to do to bring about my financial security? And the word the card that said union came out. So it's like, oh my God, I ask about my union. Apparently I'm ready, but he's not here. I ask about my money and says, you're going to have your money when your union's here. Well, but he's not here. So what do I do? It's frustrational. So I've been thinking about it. I was thinking about it all day, actually, this frustrational energy. Like, what do I do to transmute and transform this? This is a hard one to get through, especially in 2020, which is seemingly the year of the metal rat and also serious frustration. It just seems like it's, So I just sat with it. I started the show earlier and I had to delete what I said because I just felt like maybe it wasn't good enough, and then I had to redo it again, but while I was waiting, for more inspiration to strike, and sometimes I'll sit here for hours waiting for this inspiration to strike, what am I going to talk about tonight? Excuse me. I mean, obviously I'm good at the inspiration. It does come. It comes readily, comes easy, comes often. But sometimes it takes a few hours, to come. But I know I always have faith it's going to come. And it always does. I mean, 560 episodes later, I've had 560 topics in the introduction to talk about. So, I was thinking about it, and then I got a little email, and it said mindfulness and forgiveness. And I'm like, okay, well, I've already forgiven everything that ever happened to me. I've already forgiven myself for everything I've done wrong. I've forgiven everybody, every event, every circumstance. I've already done the forgiveness. So I just kind of poo-pooed it. I mean, the card I got was, you're ready. The other card I got was union, So here I sit again, mindfulness. All right, so if I just focus on what I want, focus on which I've been doing every day anyway. Imagining having it. Imagine the emotion of having it. I mean, I do all this shit every fucking day, and it's still not here. So what the hell, right? But then I just was like, all right, maybe there's another message in this email that came that said mindfulness and forgiveness, right? There's another message just in that title. I know it. I feel it. I sense that there's something there. So I'm sitting here and I was looking at the card Grace while my baby little kitten Familiar was laying down next to my leg and purring his little heart out. And that's when it struck me, guys. You might have done all the shadow work. You might are still going through it. And it's possible you're still going through it. But what if you get to the end of all of it and things are still not functioning and working the way you want it to work? Then what? And it dawned on me, there was a component I was missing. It wasn't forgiving other people or events or circumstances for things that held me back in the past. It wasn't forgiving myself for blaming those things in the first place, when maybe it was my fault in the first place, because I already did all that. But the forgiveness that I forgot about is the forgiveness of not having what you want, or not believing that you deserve what you want. You have to forgive yourself for believing you deserve less than what you deserve, So, okay, in other words, I deserve to have not all the money in the world, but all the money in the world that is meant for me, that I can have, that I can use, that I can turn around and create wonderful things with to help my community, not just myself and my children and my baby little kitten, but people in my community. Like Sri and Kira, I don't know where the hell they get their money, but I think they're very wealthy. I mean, her scarves alone, you see her in her videos, like each one of those scarves are like $100. So it's like, I mean, she has really beautiful scarves. I love her style. She's wild and flowy and free and amazing. And I love them. So I'm not criticizing them, but I'm like, where the hell they get their money, right? Like, I think maybe they've written books, possibly. I know they have a website. They've been around 20, 30 years on the circuit. I know they do a lot of workshops and seminars. Maybe that's it. I mean, or maybe he was like a space engineer. I don't know. I honestly don't know where they get their money. But I do know that with their money, they bought like this massive piece of land here in Ecuador, and they've uncovered these Incan ruins. And I know that they're preserving them for all of humanity. And the local natives, they've invited to the land to help them to understand more about what's going on with the ruins, and also to have their ceremonies like their ancestors did to restore their magic and restore their spirituality back to the people. So that's what they did with their money. And I'm like, that's what I want to do with my money that's not here yet. They opened up a free clinic. And so anyone who needs a hospital or, like a doctor, they can go to the free clinic if they don't have any money. And that's for all the natives. It's like only 45 minutes from here. I think they're in Paute or something. They're not too far from where I live, actually. And so that's the kind of thing I want to do. I want to have maybe like a glamp ground. I want to have a place where Ecuadorians could come and enjoy life and have kind of like a getaway, but also a safe getaway. Safe for their kids, safe for their, they bring their animals, just safe for, whatever. And and to also have good food at a decent price, and, but also taking whatever extra money to maybe have a museum and dedicate that to the people and have it like a government museum of any artifacts we find on the land. And, I think about all this stuff all the time. Where's my money to do all the good in the world I want to do? I want to buy an ark every year. I would like to buy an ark every month. What does that mean? What's an ark, Elena? Okay. Heifer International, heifer.org, HEIFER.org. For $5,000, you buy an ark of animals. And the people that receive these animals for free are people that are poor all over the world. For example, you buy a hive of bees for $20, and that gives the family honey that they can sell at the marketplace so that they can have everything they need. And as the hive grows, they share a part of the hive with a neighbor that shares it with another neighbor that shares it with another neighbor. Pretty soon, we're restoring bees. pretty soon everyone has honey. Pretty soon everybody has a way to make a living. And pretty soon we have just made a situation where everybody is financially free. Same thing with ducks. You don't eat the ducks, you eat the eggs that the ducks lay, and they're high protein. And if you can't eat all the eggs, you sell them in the marketplace. Then you could buy other stuff like school supplies and books. And then the children can go to school. And when the ducks have babies, we give the ducks to the next door neighbors. And then when those ducks have babies, they give them to their next door neighbors. And pretty soon everybody has enough protein. Everyone has enough food. Everybody can sell the duck eggs in the marketplace, and suddenly everybody is financially free. And $5,000, I think, serves 20 to 25 villages around the world, which within 2 to 3 years, I think they said, becomes 250 villages. So if I could buy one ark every month, what is that? Within 2-3 years time, times 12 arks a year, how many villages did I just help in the whole world? So that's like one of my dreams, heifer.org. So far, I've only ever really saved maybe 200 villages in my lifetime. Not a lot. I would like to do a lot more. I'd like to save thousands of villages, around the world. But anyway, so I've been, thinking about all the things, look at, God, the stuff I want to do, right? I'm not going to buy a luxury yacht and sail around the world and, waste my money on cocaine and hookers. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not even remotely what I want to do. It's like, I want to, I might buy a little bit of bud, maybe a little bit, maybe a brownie here and there, but overall, I'm going to help people. I want to have my dream, is to help the world. Wake up. So I was frustrated with it, but this is the forgiveness. This is where that forgiveness idea came in. And I'm going to share with you guys. This was my insight today. What if I forgive myself for not accepting my millions or whatever? Maybe I only have $10,000 coming my way. Maybe I have $10 million coming my way. All the lifetimes I've suffered, I deserve compensation for all the things I've done for other people. And if I need to make reparations, let it be so. Give me the money so I can make the reparations, right? But what if it's my fault for not forgiving myself for accepting less than what I can use and have and deserve? And what if I don't have my twin with me, because even though I did all the work, and I think he's done almost all of his work, if he's not done yet, he's almost done. I feel it. I feel his energy, so I kind of feel like maybe. I think he might be there, actually. He might just be busy this month. That's okay. But what if I ask God for forgiveness for me thinking I deserve to be alone instead of with my twin? What if I say to God, please forgive me for thinking I deserve to be less than or homeless or that I don't deserve, right? So this isn't like an ego thing of I deserve my millions. Ha ha ha. I'm going to be old King Cole, the merry old soul, count my money in the hen house. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean like that at all. But a lot of us have this spiritual weirdness of, well, money isn't spiritual, so I'm poor because I'm a free spirit. It's like, dude, no. Nature is abundant and gives all abundance. Do you guys know that there's a beach in Saudi Arabia where hundreds of thousands of fish come up on the beach and just beach themselves as an offering to the people of Saudi Arabia? They have so much fish, they don't even know what to do with it. They give free fish away, like all the animals in the area get fish every night for dinner, fresh fish out of the ocean. It washes up on shore. There are places where the people are praying constantly for abundance, and they get it so much so that they can be generous with others. And nature is generous. I mean, do you think that a tree only grows 5 or 6 leaves on it because it doesn't want the other trees to be jealous of it? It's so stupid, this idea, right? You know? Oh, look at that tree. What does it think it is, growing 15 leaves? What a bitch. I mean, do trees talk about each other like that? The way humans do? I don't think so. No, they grow as many leaves as possible. They get struck by lightning, they split apart, they open up, and they grow double the size. With quadruple the amount of leaves. Because all of nature is abundant. In all of its forms, nature is abundant. Cats give birth to 6 babies, not 1. You know what I mean? All of nature is abundant. So, like, why do you accept less than abundance for yourself? And what if you've done all the work and all the spiritual work, and you're doing the workbook and the work steps and imagining it and visualizing it and binaural beats and hypnosis, and you're doing everything. You're doing everything. And then you get to the point where you're like, but I don't have it, so what the hell? And then you start beating yourself up. Maybe I don't deserve it. Maybe I'm a shitty person. Maybe I was Hitler in a past life and I don't remember. You know, maybe I was like Genghis fucking Kong. Maybe that's why. You know, it's frustrating, right? These thoughts, they start coming and you're like, and you get really pissed off. You get angry at yourself and you beat yourself up. Maybe it's my bad karma. But I think that maybe we block our blessings by thinking we don't deserve it, and that might be like the one thing, you know, or like we're not worthy, or maybe it'll make other people jealous of us, or maybe it'll make us a target, you know, for physical violence or kidnapping or whatever. You know, there's a lot of people have those kinds of thoughts. But what if it is up to us to do all the work we've already done, all the law of attraction stuff, all the abundant stuff? And then what we needed to do was to forgive ourselves for thinking we didn't deserve those good things in the first place. You just have to say, I forgive myself for thinking I ever deserved to be homeless. I forgive myself for thinking that I wasn't good enough to be loved. I forgive myself for thinking that I did not deserve friends. I forgive myself for thinking that I did not deserve to be wealthy like other wealthy people. Because when push comes to shove, and the truth of the matter is, if everyone in the world were to go outside on a sunny day and stand under the sun, do you think that only 10% of those people get sunshine and everyone else just gets shade? Or do you think that the sun believes that everyone equally deserves his light, and so he shines on everyone equally? So the whole idea of like the 10% or 5% being wealthy and the rest of us being crap, and then we accepted that for ourselves, we have to we have to ask forgiveness of God, or forgive ourselves for ever accepting less than. And maybe that's our fault, right? That part. We could take responsibility and then move forward by saying, hey guy, hey girl that I am, or woman that I am, I forgive myself for ever thinking I don't deserve. For trying to take a step back and shrink myself. For whatever reason, it's dumb. There's enough money in the world for everyone to be wealthy. It just has to be redistributed correctly. And if you accept your fair share, accept the $10,000 a month, accept the $2,000 a month. If you can use $50,000 a month and help a shit ton of people, accept it. Forgive yourself for not having accepted it until right now. Anyway, that's my insight, guys. I hope it helps. Grace is our card of the day, Vintage Wisdom Oracle. I have to open up the thing. Okay, I'm going to give you a Vicuña report. I'm going to give you a Vicuña report while I'm looking for the Vintage Wisdom Oracle folder on my tablet. So this is what happened. So What is vicuña like? Okay, it looks like a steak. It's a very weird T-bone steak. It's very thick. It's like 3 inches or 2 or 3 inches thick, and it's at first it looked just like a normal steak, and then I realized it's a slightly different color, which freaked me out, of course. And I thought maybe it was out of date, like maybe it was old meat. So I looked, and the date was right. I'm like, maybe it's just the lighting, and I'm not going to look further into this. And then when my son said it was vicuña, I was like, oh my God, this is weird. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I asked for vaca, not vicuña. And if you're vegetarian or vegan right now, I'm sorry for this conversation, because I know it's weird. I mean, if I could, I would just eat that, All right. Downloads. Okay. So I was skeptical about this whole thing, and I was a little freaked out about it, honestly. But my son, he wants to be a chef, and he knows how to marinate things and cook things, and I bought him some carbone. Basically charcoal, and he lit up the barbecue, and he fried these bad boys up, and he brought me some, and it was actually very tasty. It was weird though, because some of it was red like a steak and some of it was white like pork, and it tasted like a combination of the two, and is actually very good. In fact, we had a little bit of it left over, and we decided we're going to make a stew for tomorrow. So that's going to be our meal for tomorrow. I knew it was going to be protein for us for like 2 days at least. And so, and I guess it's only for 2 days. It wasn't a 3-dayer, but that's okay. That's okay. And so we ate it, and I feel good, and I feel strong, and there's a lot of protein in it, and it's a higher quality meat than what we had been getting with beef anyway. Actually, it probably has all the omegas 3, 6, 9. It's excellent. You can hear my baby kitty in the background, by the way. Hey, kitty catty. Oh my God, he's so cute. Hey, Monsieur Ravenspell. I know his last name is Ravenspell, guys. I don't know what his first name is yet. We're still trying to figure this out. I call him sorcier. It means sorcerer in French. For some reason, I think he's a French cat. Maybe he's French-Italian. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. What is his energy? But anyway, so the vicuña was good. It tasted good. I feel actually nourished by it. I feel kind of a little bit more positive now that I've eaten this heavy, dense protein my body desperately needed. But I'm going to tell you something really freaking weird about it. I don't think my tongue is supposed to be numb. I don't think that's a part of this. I don't think that's what this is supposed to. I don't believe that eating food is supposed to make your mouth numb. If I start to hallucinate, well, no. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but my tongue is still numb. I mean, I tasted it. It tasted good, and then all of a sudden my mouth is numb. Am I allergic to vicuña? Wild vicuña? It makes no sense. I've never eaten it before. Why would I be allergic? But it is what it is, and it's freaking weird as hell. I don't know why. But it is what it is. Okay, so Grace is our card. Vintage Wisdom Oracle. So let's get over to the Grace card and see what it says for us. I have to say the alphabet. E, F, G. Gentleness, grace. There we go. All right, Grace. Poised in a scene of heady blossoms, lakes, and mountains, a bejeweled dancer is captured in a moment of rapture. Twirling a gossamer veil in the rays of the afternoon sun, her carefree form moves effortlessly in harmony with the beauty that surrounds her. She is intoxicated with the spirit of grace and delights in the sublime sweetness of the passing moment. In addition to obvious visual beauty, grace can manifest in other ways. The name Grace has Latin origins that mean favor or blessing. In religious traditions, grace means unmerited favor or loving kindness of God. Now, grace cannot be bargained for, as only the divine mind decides when and how to reveal itself. The presence of this card calls you to pause, take heart, and return to the miraculous simplicity of the moment. Through the gift of life alone, you are already part of the miracle of grace. See that, guys? You deserve grace. You deserve every good thing in this life. So there it is, right? So, I'm going to read that last sentence again. Through the gift of life alone, you are already part of the miracle of grace. You may feel overwhelmed by the pressures surrounding you or isolated and disconnected from the beating heart of your sacred relationship to life. Perhaps you are overanalyzing things or measuring your progress by man-made yardsticks, which have no bearing on your spiritual identity. Without a doubt, there have been countless times when you sought guidance and grace was present, but went unnoticed. She can be found in the space between the notes of a tune that call your body to dance and your spirit to soar. She is hidden within the silence between breaths and in the very pulse of life itself. So the next time you find yourself grumbling about the rain, remember the words from John Updike. Rain is grace. Rain is the sky condensing to the earth. Without rain, there would be no life. When grace dances into your moments of loving connectedness, you will recognize her reassuring lightness of step, and regardless of circumstances, be both humble and grateful for the perfection in each moment. Cultivate the eyes to see and heart to merge with these gifts as they unfold bountifully in your daily life. And soon you will realize that the darkest days are never so daunting as to be beyond the reach of grace. So there you have it. That was actually pretty profound and pretty connected to what I was just saying. So I always love when that happens. For me, that is a miracle. I'm so grateful every time that happens. When something I say connects with something else that I didn't even know. I've never read the description for this card. So I did, you guys, let me see here. By the way, vicuñas, did you guys know they're related to alpacas too? I looked up vicuña, how to cook a vicuña, and it says alpaca meat. And I'm like, what? I swear to God. I mean, did I just eat an endangered animal? I mean, God. I mean, if it's in the grocery store, I'm assuming it's illegal to sell, but it kind of freaks me out, actually. But it's okay. God bless the vicuña whose life and mine have merged now. So there you go. Just sent love to his spirit. There's speaking of spirits, there is a beautiful picture on spaceweather.com. You guys, this is incredible. Remember we've spoken a few times about sprites. Sprites are those little, hi baby. Hi honey. Hi sweetie. I think he's calling me. How cute, right? Come on up. Yeah, come on. If you want. You want to be a part of the show? Come on. It's awfully long way up here for him to come 3 flights. He's so little. 8 weeks old only. But the stairs are not too wide. I know he can do it. So, sprites are the things that go on top of, when you have the thunderstorms, the thunder and lightning, the sprites are red. They're bright red, and they're like a new phenomena on this planet. And this guy, Frankie Lucena of Puerto Rico, I can't even say it, Puerto Rica. It should be Puerto Rico, right? Because the way they spelled that is weird. Anyways, Puerto Rico. I'm not even saying it right now. He has made a discovery that the jellyfish have feet. Now, jellyfish is a form of sprite. They're called jellyfish sprites. But they have little feet because he took a bunch of pictures and he blew it up and he's like, oh my God, they've got feet. This is weird. It's a brand new discovery just this week. Oh my gosh. Or actually, well, September 28th. So in the past 2 weeks, brand new scientific discovery. It made spaceweather.com. This website is super amazing. I wanted to tell you guys because the pictures are here. They're super amazing. All right. You're going to want to see them. Now, let me look at this. I just accidentally blew up a picture of the sun. All right. The solar wind speed right now is 306.2 kilometers per second. We still have sunspot genesis, but we now have gone 13 days without a sunspot officially. They're trying to form. They're working on it. We will see what happens with that. We have cosmic radiation, 9.6% of the space age average, so it's high, but it is down by 0.5% since yesterday. And there are no significant coronal holes on the Earth's side of the sun, which is good news because that means our weekend may be free and clear of all this download crazy radiation energy that we've been getting. You know, we're still going to have the cosmic stuff, the typical stuff, but I mean, we've had some really hard stuff lately. You know, I know you guys have noticed it. Intense dreams too. My God. You know, it was like I was embroiled in something intense. It was like, I don't know, it was some kind of a discussion in a classroom. It was like a really intense thing. You know, like I was in this classroom, we're trying to solve something, and it was like coming to a head, and everyone's getting super excited about, okay, wait, there's this, and we're right on the tip of our brain. Like, I don't know, a way to save humanity or something. And I woke up and I'm like, oh man. Like, I almost solved it, man. That was the key. We were almost there. We were so close. So close. And then I woke up. Oh, man. That was an intense dream. The All-Sky Fireball Network from NASA's All-Sky cameras across the United States have discovered 17 sporadic fireballs today. And that's it as far as space weather news is concerned. Now, we don't have any HeartMath Institute news. Their site is still down. I don't know if they're in the fire issue or not. But as far as disclosurenews.it, we are at power 20. So the sum of the hour that had the most energy in Italy was only 20 hertz frequency. It's just been super low vibration over there, and I don't know why. You know, but it fluctuates around the world. So if it's like 20 in one place, it's like up to 600 in another. It's, you know, we really are. I found this guy, he's a rapper. I'm trying to get him on the show. He said he would come. We have to figure it out. He's from the Bay Area. And he has the name Truth R, TRUTHR, and he does rap, like hip hop. And it's all about high vibrational stuff. And one of the lines in his song today that I listened to was, they say we're in the 11th dimension, but it just feels like nothing's changed. You know, and he's talking about ascending and, you know, being high vibration, but also going through all of his own emotional crap, like, I have a fear of commitment, and I'm afraid my friends are going to die, and I'm afraid that bad things are going to happen in the earth, and I'm afraid that maybe it's going to end, you know. Like, I was listening to a bunch of different songs of his today. So I want to mention it, you know, because he has the same energy of the rest of us, you know. He's there as our soul family and our soul tribe, and he's making songs about, you know, how everyone's feeling and what we're doing. How we feel like we're going to bring about a new world, and we're not gonna die. This isn't the apocalypse, although it feels like it. It is in some ways, and I think we're going to hop off onto a new world or hop up into a new dimension somehow. It's energetically more than physically, though. We have to bring the heaven on the earth ourselves. It's our responsibility. It's a damn big responsibility, but we can do it. My mom used to say, you're too blessed to be stressed, and if God brings you to it, he's going to pull you through it. She had a bunch of plaques. I saw a meme today. It said if somebody has a plaque that says this, and is one of the plaques my mom used to have on her wall, says that you're living in a house, or you're in a house of a demon. Get out now. And it was like oh, live, laugh, and love. If it says live, laugh, and love, you're in the house of a demon. Get the hell out. I'm like, what? It was so strange. It's like not true at all. All right, guys, I am going to take a quick break and figure out why my tongue is still numb from the vicuña. Make sure I could see my hand in front of my face and it's not like purple or something. No, I mean, I'm not hallucinating, but my tongue is numb. That's usually what happens, right? Right before you hallucinate, right? Oh, what the actual hell? It's been an experience, and you know what? I'm grateful for all my experiences, so thank you, God, for that. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to hear from the Kapabwe Irish kids again, because I love them so much. Their sweet little faces can be seen singing that hip-hop rap song about saving the earth on the Kapabwe National Irish School channel on YouTube. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to do the Earth Changes Report and the weekly Weird World News right after this message. And the Kapabwe kids, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
We can make a difference in our own small way.
It's one small change, we can do that today. Our mind's getting bigger while the world's getting smaller.
But saving the earth's becoming a tall order. From the minute you awake from your nightly nap, you can make little changes like turning off the tap
While brushing your teeth in the bathroom.
You can cycle or walk your way to the classroom.
Cut down the fuel you used to get to school.
Pull in, let's cancel.
In your lunchbox, cut down the plastic. See, these things aren't too drastic.
Spread the word, get vocal.
Make it go global.
When buying food, stay local.
Never
out the earth was sick. We knew we had to do something quick.
The earth is our family and our friend.
We need to mend it before it ends.
This is our home, so don't destroy it. Everyone should do their bit.
Ice caps melting,
Seas getting high, homes will be flooded.
polar bears will die.
The sun's getting hotter, the rain won't fall. I'm afraid we won't survive at all. Recycle the plastic, please, it's free.
You don't want that ending up in the sea. It's like people use this planet as a bin. Pick up your trash, that's where you begin.
Temperature is rising, we are realizing. We must act now, there's no compromising.
Just one small change in the little things we do. We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our earth,
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
it's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. If you cut down flowers and trees, you contribute to the mass extinction of the bees. Think of the creatures that don't have a say. There has to be a better way. There's no higher being to save the earth. We gotta do something before we get hurt.
At school, we know what to do.
But my question is, do you?
Just one small change in the little things we do.
We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our earth,
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
it's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth.
Just one small change in the little things we do.
We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our earth,
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
it's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth.
All right, guys. Well, I still have a numb tongue. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this news report okay. I drank a lot of water, took my vitamins, and I don't know. I mean, does this mean I have an allergy to vicuña, or does it mean that they soaked it in coca leaves or something? Because I got a lot of energy from it, and my tongue is numb. It's like, do vicuñas eat coca? Is that something? I don't know. Coca leaves are amazing, honestly. It's what they make cocaine out of, but just when it's coca, the plain leaf, it's actually a really nice painkiller and helps you pull in more oxygen into your system. It's very healthy, good for your digestion. You know, when you take it as the drug cocaine, though, I mean, you get sick within 24 hours of taking it. It's terrible. It's a horrible drug. It's addictive and yucky. It makes you feel amazing. You have no pain in your body. 24 hours later, you're all kinds of pain. It's like double the pain as before. It's just like taking an opioid. So it's not worth it. But the leaves itself, the leaves themselves, it's worth it. It's good. But now I'm wondering about the diet of the vicuña. Just maybe that's what it is. All right, let's get into it, guys. Watchers.news. Watchers.news is where I get my Earth Changes report. And why do we do this? Number one, we want to know what's going on in the world on a geological level, meteorological level. Just what are the Earth changes themselves? Because when we turn to the news, it's always, this president candidate, that president, that, no more flies. Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies. I saw the footage, guys. Oh my God, Biden with the fly on his head, though. Oh my God. Oh, that is comedy gold. Oh my God. Oh, it's like so funny. I mean, the fact that it was a black fly on that white hair and just... Only in 2020 does a fly get that much press, like for real. All right, I'm not going to give it any more press, okay? He's like famous, It's like, what? Flies only live like 3 days or something, maybe a week at the most, depending on the species. So, man, he really made the most of his life. That was pretty cool, actually. The fly life. All right. So anyway, so what we do, so besides wanting to know what's going on in the world and seeing the storms and the changes and what's happening, we also want to be able to send love and light and high vibrational prayers or positive thoughts to the people that are suffering in the rest of the world. It brings us more love and compassion to our heart, and it also helps them. Every little bit, positive energy, positive vibration helps you, your community, your world, and the people suffering the things that they're suffering at the hands of, well, Mother Nature herself. So that's why I do the Earth Changes Report every single Friday now, because I want you guys to have more love and compassion, and this is just a fun way of exercising that. So here we go. October 3rd is where we left off. The second was the last one with the fireball exploding over Brazil, Rio Grande do Sul. That was the last one in Santa Catarina in Brazil. That was the last report we did. So here we go. In Mexico, tropical storm Gamma to make landfall in the Yucatan Peninsula. So that's on the east coast of Mexico. I've never been there. I've been only on the west coast of Mexico. At the very south and the very north of the country, and in the middle I've never been. Like to Guadalajara, a place I've always wanted to go, but I've never been. But yeah, so Tropical Storm Gamma, we'll see what happens later. I'm sure if it did fall, oh yeah, here it is, shit. On the 5th of October, yeah, Tropical Storm Gamma claimed 6 lives and stalled near the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. So let's send love and light to the families of the victims of Tropical Storm Gamma. There it is. Storm Alex hits Europe with extremely heavy rain and destructive winds. So let's send love and light and sunshine not only to Mexico but also to Europe. Now this one is strange. Solar storms more severe when 2 events slipstream behind each other. This was on the 4th of October. I'm going to this one to see what happens. What happened? So a research team led by the Imperial College of London has presented in a new study that coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, or solar storms, could be more extreme than previously believed when they slipstream into each other, or when 2 such events follow each other. Modeling an extreme space weather event that missed the Earth narrowly in 2012 shows that it could have been much worse if another one had occurred. So CMEs are explosions of vast amounts of magnetized material from the sun, which travel at high speeds and release a large amount of energy in a very short period of time. So when the CMEs reach Earth, they trigger aurora borealis, but they can also disrupt satellites and communications. The most extreme space weather events are likely to be catastrophic, causing power blackouts that could damage transformers that sometimes could take up to many years to repair. Therefore, precise monitoring and forecasting are important to reduce possible damage. So it's talking about they're relating it, of course, to the Carrington event. That is a famous event where, I mean, a lot of, everything was just wiped out. And so they're looking what happened in 2012 because people are really scared about this. Like, really, this, it could just knock us out. One day we just don't have electricity, or one day we just don't have internet anymore, ever at all for the whole year. Life could get worse, and let's not tempt 2020, shall we? Let's get off this topic, actually. Because, yeah. But that's interesting to know that, if 2 follow another, it feels like it to me, too. Now, I thought they were going to say, let's combine it when we get hit by a pulsar or a magnetar wave or cosmic radiation of another horse of another color. You know what I mean? Anyway, I was going with that. Okay. Multifaceted study dates massive Tierra Blanca Joven eruption back to the year 431 Common Era. I don't even know what this is. I'm not going to really go into it, though. I don't want to waste time on this because it's a scientific research and study. If you're interested, watchers.news. Have you heard of Tierra Blanca Joven? It says the young white earth in Spanish. I don't know what that is. A multifaceted study. So they just die. So basically, it's something, a volcanic eruption that happened, like 1,600 years ago. All right, let's move on. All right. Floods and landslides leave 4 people missing, over 200 houses submerged in West Java in Indonesia. So let's send them a lot of love and light and a lot of sunshine in Indonesia. Devastating wildfires prompt a state of emergency in Paraguay. Let's send rain to Paraguay. Tropical storm Delta forms near Jamaica, and it was expected to move near or over the Cayman Islands on Tuesday, but the next day it says Delta strengthens into a hurricane, so it was upgraded from a tropical storm status, and the forecast to make landfall along the central Gulf Coast. So let's send some sunshine to Jamaica and love and light to any victims of that storm. Asteroid 2020 TA flew past Earth at 0.5 lunar distance. Wow. Halfway between here and the moon. We did have one last week that was closer, but man, these are getting a little scary. It's like it's getting to be a little bit too many, right? A deep 6.0 earthquake, magnitude was 6.0, hit Fiji, but it looks like it was maybe in the ocean itself, which is not, and plus it being a deep quake, I don't think it affected the people, but it is always interesting to note. So, all right, here we go with, so this one's fun. World record waterspout outbreak over the Great Lakes. Again with the waterspouts. I mean, have you ever been alive during a year in which waterspouts were mentioned more than 2020? Have you ever heard of the word waterspout before this year? I mean, were we all just dumb or asleep or not paying attention at all to the sky or the weather or anything? Or is it possible that all these things are brand spanking new? Like they existed occasionally before and suddenly they're massively increased in number. So Julie Celestial is the author of these, of course. She says, over the Great Lakes, 232 waterspouts or funnels were confirmed between the 28th of September and the 4th of October. So, 6 days. 232 waterspouts in 6 days. This is the second world record waterspout outbreak of the year. And they're both world records. What the hell? According to the International Center for Waterspout Research, that's a thing. Did you all know that's a thing? International Center for Waterspout Research, also known as the ICWR. What? So, from August 16th through the 19th, there were 88 waterspout funnels. There was a waterspout outbreak. A waterspout outbreak. That's weird. Have you guys ever heard of this? The outbreaks, they say, are a result of Canadian cold air sweeping over the region, which made surface air prone to rise. Well, we're going to blame it on the Canadians. It's all their fault. Oh my God, they had 33 waterspouts per day, according to the ICWR director Wade Szilagyi. He is also a meteorologist at Environment Canada. He says that's why I label it as a world record, because you have to take into account the period. I think he means how many days that they occurred. So Szilagyi noted that the number is remarkable, and he's never heard of anything like that. See, he's an expert, and he's saying what I just said 5 seconds ago. I have never in my life heard of anything like this. 2020 is this crazy, unprecedented year for all this shit. So David Piano, well, there's a fun name, actually. I like that. My name is David Piano. Do you play the piano? No. I hope he plays the piano for his sake. David Piano is a storm chaser. Oh, not a piano player. And he's also a photographer. That's actually really cool. He witnessed 38 waterspouts in a 5-hour period. What the heck? Can you imagine that? In 5 hours, 38 waterspouts. What? I mean, there's just all these pictures. Well, I'm not going to continue with this story. If you want to read the rest of it and see all these awesome pictures, you can check it out on watchers.news. But see, everything is weird. Everything is weird. Shit is about to get weird. That's what I've seen a lot of people say that on Instagram the past 2-3 months. They're like, if you never believed in ghosts or auras or chakras or, spirits or aliens or ETs, if you never believed in any of this stuff before, shit is about to get really weird. And I mean, but just look at the weather, just the plain weather, just that alone. This stuff is really, really weird. All right, 2020 Antarctic ozone hole is literally, oh my gosh, this is the largest and the deepest ozone. It's 8.8 million acres wide. The Antarctic ozone hole. There's a giant hole in the ozone layer. It's literally the largest and deepest in years. It's a record holder. Frequent explosions at Fuego volcano. Lahar warning has been issued in Guatemala. Oh my God. See, I lived there and I stared at this volcano every single day for like 6 months going, I want something to happen. One time there was a puff of smoke. Another time there's a puff of smoke and a little bit of orange at the top of the mountain. And I honestly didn't know if it was actually lava or if it was maybe quite possibly just, the glint of the sunlight off the top of the mountain, off the top of the volcano. We just sat there for days staring at all these volcanoes, just hoping. We want to see it. We don't want to be in it. We don't want to be near it, but we want to see it because it's exciting, And now that we're gone, Guatemala's popping off all over the place. A lot of volcanoes in Guatemala, man. A lot of volcanoes here, actually, where I live. Strong strombolian activity and significant ash emissions have been happening at Etna in Italy. Yeah, this is, let me see if they talk about the strombolian activity. That's exciting. That's extremely exciting, and I don't want to be near a stromboli. I mean, I've eaten a stromboli. That's a kind of sandwich, which has a bunch of meatballs in it, because that's what a strombolian activity does from a strombolian volcano. They don't throw meatballs at you, but they do throw massive rocks. These big round boulders just come flying out. They're like the size of a bus. It's pretty crazy. So on the 7th of October, there was an eruption at 6:35 UTC time with significant ash emissions that went 15,000 feet above sea level. And they raised the aviation color code to red. And that means no one can fly. Wow. They said that they could not detect the volcanic ash. Well, that's not terribly high. I mean, where I am here, airplanes just don't fly in Ecuador when Sangay does his thing. Sorry, I'm Sangay. It's time for me to sashay. Pay attention to me. You're not going to fly anywhere. You cannot leave Ecuador while I am performing. Seriously, that is Sangay. He is just constantly blowing his top lately. So that's, it's crazy. All right, so this is in Catania in Sicily. This is the second largest city there, and they have the world's longest documented records of historical volcanism. And this dates back to 1500 years before the Common Era, which is 3,520 years ago. The historical lava flows of basaltic composition cover much of the surface of this massive volcano, whose edifice is highest and most voluminous in Italy. The Mongibello stratovolcano, truncated by several small calderas, was constructed during the late Pleistocene and the Holocene eras over an older shield volcano. So the most prominent morphological feature of Mount Etna is the Valley dei Bove, and it is 5 by 6 miles, 5 miles by 6 miles wide, and it's a horseshoe-shaped caldera that opens to the east there in Sicily. And so they have two types of eruptive volcanic activity: persistent explosive eruptions with minor lava emissions that do take place one or more of the three prominent summit craters. And they also have flank vents, which have higher effusion rates, which are less frequently active, and they originate from fissures. So it's just like big lines will occur in the ground and just kind of opens up randomly. The fissures happen, and then the lava flows, and sometimes it flows all the way to the foot of the volcano on all the sides. So, like a typical science experiment if you're in 8th grade. The way you want the volcano to look. That's what this one looks like. It's like a typical volcano. So it's very, very interesting. This is interesting. A damaging tornado hit Antwerp, Belgium. It ripped through the city of Antwerp on Belgium on Monday. Numerous trees were downed, and one house suffered considerable damage. Oh, God's like, you know what? No. Your decor's all wrong. We're going to just twist that up for you. Wow. No injuries, thank you, God, were reported. Just the house. So that's crazy. I mean, is that even something that you've ever heard of? In Belgium, tornadoes? It just seems like everything is odd. Everything's just very, very strange these days. So, all right, where are we? A strong 6.3 earthquake hit Papua New Guinea, and it was on the land. So let's send some calming, gentle energy both to Guatemala for fuego, as well as Papua New Guinea for the earthquake activity. Hurricane Delta heads towards Louisiana in the United States after leaving 9 people dead in Mexico. Ooh, making a run for the border after you've committed the crime, I see. All right, Delta, we know how you work. Ah, goodness. Let's send love and light and calmness energy and just sunshiny weather to Mexico as well as Louisiana. Let's send love and light and comfort to the families that lost their people in Mexico. Now, speaking of Mexico, a spectacular fireball did light up the sky, and it hit land, and then sparked a fire. Of course. Why am I not surprised in 2020 where fireballs are hitting the land and sparking wildfires? Just one thing after a frickin' another. Let's go to the weekly volcanic activity report, see where we're going. Only one volcano was reported for having new activity or new unrest in the past week. During the same period, ongoing activity was reported for 12 volcanoes. That means it's only 13 volcanoes. There's that number 13 again. 13 volcanoes. That's 10 less than normal. So hey, there's a lot of calmness. And did you also notice there's a lot of calmness with no solar winds flowing, less volcanic activity, no CMEs happening, less volcanic activity, less cosmic radiation, less volcanic activity. I just want to point out there is a connection, there is a correlation. If you want to learn more, go to Suspicious Observers on YouTube. He is a cosmologist. He has a PhD. I want to say from Harvard. He's quite smart and had rich parents. So, but he put this together, this whole thing. He's a brilliant man. He talks so fast, it's hard to understand what the hell he's saying half the time. Because it's just all these massive scientific words, the $20 words we say in Scrabble. But, he's brilliant, and he's the one that came up with this, and all of a sudden all these other scientists are like, wait a minute, I think this guy's right. You know what? Because look, only 13 volcanoes. At any given time on the planet, there's usually 23 going off. And if there's more than that, that's odd. And there's only 13 right now, so that's odd in the opposite direction. Heavy rains have hit Vietnam, leaving at least 8 people dead or missing. Let's send them sunshine and love and light for the people who are dead and missing. Let's send angels of comfort to comfort the people who lost their loved ones. And here we go again with the water spouts. Rare water spout forms near the coast of Mumbai, India. So there you go again with the water spouts. It's like a water spout week. Last week was the animals killing themselves. This week is a water spout week. There are themes, people. It just seems like there are themes. There was unusually intense record storm knocking power out to over 200,000 customers in the capital district of New York City, New York, in the United States. An unusually intense record storm. Wow. Well, let's hope that they get their power back on. We'll say a little prayer for them. And I don't know about the water spout. I don't think we have to do anything about water spouts, by the way. Increased activity of Pacaya volcano. Yeah, another volcano I sat for hours looking at. None of these volcanoes did jack shit the whole 9 months I lived in Guatemala. And the week after I left, they started going off. I'm like, really though? I mean, come on. It's Murphy's Law. So Pacaya volcano. Let's just hope that no one is in the harm's way in front of any of the volcanoes. So, mysterious pollution has now been causing mass deaths of marine animals in the Russia's Kamchatka region. Now, remember, in recent weeks, there have been ongoing activity in the Kamchatka region as far as volcanic activity. But what they're saying is there's mysterious toxic pollution along a 25-mile stretch of the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, and it's killed 95% of the seabed creatures. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's huge, 95%. So it's caused health issues among surfers also. Yeah, you betcha. Pollution is never good, obviously. The marine pollution was first reported by the local surfers who started to suffer from eye problems. Yeah, that's always the first thing. And then apparent chemical burns. After going in the waters in September. Well, you know what? This could be pollution, like runoff or factory pollution, but it also could possibly be, in Kamchatka, there are volcanoes. It's possible it's something that's coming up from the water. Lava, when flowing with seawater, equals hydrochloric acid, which can result in chemical burns. So if I was going to take a somewhat semi-educated guess, that's what my guess is, that there's a fissure that opened up under the ocean, and it is affecting the sea life, of course, because it's not normally there, and it's also affecting the surfers. That's what I think. Let's see. For several weeks now, the surfers experienced eye problems when they returned from the water with white shroud over their eyes. What? That is weird. Blurred vision, dryness, sore throat. Many of them had nausea, weakness, a high fever, according to Yekaterina Diba. Oh, you know what? That's one of my friend's relatives, Diba, D-Y-B-A. That is really weird. I've never heard that name except for when my friend told me. Jacqueline, one of my very best friends ever, that was her grandfather's name, Diba. Anyway, Yekaterina Diba. She says she's a geographer who runs the Snow Wave Kamchatka surfing school. Interesting. Divers who examined the waters along the wide stretch of Kamchatka reported 95% of seabed creatures have been found dead. Seals, octopi, starfish, sea urchins. Greenpeace Russia has called the situation an ecological disaster and urged authorities to investigate. Following the uproar, Russia's investigative committee confirmed in a statement that it was investigating the marine pollution. Oh my God. Shows a really beautiful white, it's like so sad. It's an octopus. And when they get sick, they turn white. So he was sick before he died. Wow. So Acting Minister of Natural Resources and Ecology, Alexei Kumarkov, he said an analysis of water samples showed the presence of petroleum products at levels 4 times the average toxic compound phenol and other substances. Well, there goes my volcano theory. Kamchatka Governor Vladimir Solodov said authorities were awaiting further testing results. So, let's see, where's that? And there were no grounds to talk about any specific version of what might have wiped out so much sea life. That is heartbreaking. So, they initially suggested a commercial oil tanker caused the contamination, but the Russian media discussed other possible explanations, including contamination from one of the military facilities along the coast in an area where chemicals have been buried secretly before. Wow. All right, well, let's send a lot of love and light over to Russia, because that is never good. That is not good news. So, speaking of not good news, I think that it might be time for our weekly Weird World News. What do you guys think? Okay, we're right at the half-hour mark anyway, so let's get into it. I'm going to take our headlines today from coasttocoastam.com. This was originally started by Art Bell, and I did channel him last year. He came to me and said he was willing to be in one of my shows. He wanted to reach us all from beyond the grave, and he did, and that was pretty awesome. And I've actually talked to him with one of those apps, the EVP apps, and my daughter and I heard his voice right after he died. We're like, you said you're going to come back and let us know you're all right, and here it is. And it was really a blessing. I wish I would have recorded it. I would be playing that for you all the time. But my daughter and I, we were both like crying our heads off for like at least a week, or if not 2. We really loved Art Bell. Anyway, he started Coast to Coast AM, and now George Norrie is his successor. And anyway, so he's keeping these traditions going, all the weird news. They just call it the news. But, so yeah, I just wanted to get into these headlines. Current events, debate, and paranormal phenomena music. That sounds good. That was last night, Howard Bloom. By the way, it's not really an article so much, but that looked interesting, actually. All right, let me see here. I can't remember. I think we did talk about the cult leader who claimed to be Jesus. and the mysterious horse mutilations in Sweden. I think we did do those, so let's go a little bit further ahead. Our black holes, wormholes in disguise. I think we talked about that. Oh, wow. Well, I don't think we talked about this one. Area 51 has a huge new hangar facility that points to a drone swarm future. The Air Force is accelerating its advanced combat drone development efforts, and the facility's unique attributes seem perfect for supporting them. Wow. I'll be honest, I don't think I want to know what that looks like. Oh, goodness. Real life inception as scientists figure out how to plant ideas into dreams. Great. Freaking great. That's a movie I might have to watch this weekend, honestly. I haven't seen that one yet. Researchers at MIT have been testing a fascinating new technique called targeted dreams incubation, which allows them to insert certain topics into someone else's dreams. If you want to read that article, again, coastcoastam.com. Lasers cut the air for hypersonic weapons. The Department of Defense uses laser-generated plasma to increase their flight speeds. Ooh, this is messing up a lot of stuff. That is crazy energy. I don't even really want to go into that. That's giving me kind of a weird feeling. I'm starting to leave my body again. I'm having this weird tongue numb thing. It still hasn't gone away. Evidence for fossil forest fires. Apparently, some plants evolved to benefit from fire, according to this. That's true, though. I mean, when there's a forest fire, the next year or 2 years later, there's always a lot of forest growth. I think it is, it's true. A new bird song emerges during the pandemic. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. In San Francisco, the sparrows have a lot more range and they're quieter because people aren't making too much noise now. So they have a new way to woo the ladies. 200 rare stolen books were discovered under the floorboards in Romania. Ooh, that sounds like something I would have done in a past life. Rare first editions by Galileo Galilei, Isaac Newton, were stolen in a daring London heist in 2017. And now they've been discovered under the floorboards in Romania. So, interesting. Studies suggest that crows are as smart as humans. Well, with the dumbing down of humans, I don't doubt that a bit. But they do say crows and ravens can know and ponder the contents of their own minds. How could we even qualify that either way? But I think that's really cool, and I do believe it's true. I mean, I've had many conversations with crows and ravens over my lifetime, and they're absolutely incredible birds, and they always felt very aware to me. A woman shocked to discover 2 long needles embedded in her brain. Ooh, what? The discovery occurred to a Chinese woman who underwent a CT scan following a minor car accident, and they found needles in her brain. Maybe it's acupuncture, but still, that's terrifying. Area 51 themed haunted house opens up in Canada. And if you want to check it out, it will be at the Dedmonton Haunted House in Edmonton, Canada. A climate anomaly may have worsened the 1918 pandemic and World War I. Climate and infectious diseases have always been intertwined. That's true. A climate anomaly may have worsened. I just said that. Why did I say that twice? Sorry about that. A blue star, a distant blue star, hosts one of the most extreme exoplanets known to science. It's ultra-hot, Jupiter-sized planet known as WASP 189b. Well, I know I'm never going there. Anything named WASP, I have no interest. I do not like those bugs, and I don't want to go to their planet. Okay, no, that's not where bugs are from. Did early Christians use psychedelics? Wow. Wow. There's a nice, neat little article we're going to have to read immediately. Okay, this is from thedailybeast.com under the title Ultimate High by Candida Moss. Okay. I'm thinking that someone by the name of Candida Moss is not really a real name. That is very odd. All right. The ancient world seems to have been a place full of the supernatural, miraculous healings, demonic activity, prophets delivering oracles, flying wizards, men walking on water, and so on. Even if you put aside exceptional heroic figures like Jesus, a high proportion of people seem to have been having religious or spiritual experiences. It's easy to be dismissive of the stories as folklore or product of some overactive imaginations. But a new investigation into the spiritual life of the ancient world argues something different. Ancient people were not crazy or making things up. They were just high. Yeah. More specifically, claims author Brian Murarescu, many ancient religions, including the earliest Christians, used psychedelics as a way of transcending everyday life and communing with divine. In the just released Immortality Key by St. Martin's Press 2020, the former classics major turned lawyer travels the world talking to archaeologists, academics, priests, and farmers about ancient ecstatic experiences. His goal is to test a theory, one he's held for decades, and spent 12 years researching. So that some ancient religious experience was nurtured by mind-altering substance. The book, which is like nothing I've ever read before, that's what this person says, that's cool, puts other popular scholarships to blame, or to shame, sorry, is part popularized in the Da Vinci Code, and basically this follows him on his journey to the offices of prominent scholars, through the dusty halls of libraries, into the Vatican's library's secret archives, takes a detour to the Lizard Lounge, and descends into the catacombs under Rome. So basically, they're saying that there was a ritual ingestion and use of psychedelic substances in Greek and Roman religious practices. So probably early Christians might have taken part, I guess. So that's interesting. They do talk about koukion, which is a beverage that initiates drink. It's mind-altering, and it far outstrips that of alcohol. Wow. Very interesting. So we're talking about other people who've been permanently transformed, yada, yada, yada. If you want to check it out, you could go to coastcoastam.com and look it up, or thedailybeast.com. Did early Christians use psychedelics is the name of the article. All right. The chilling experiment which created the first vaccine. Ooh. I don't even know if I want to know that. Smallpox used to kill millions, but a chance discovery led to the first vaccine and transformation in human health. Well, if you want to read that experiment, I don't think I'm going to skip it. That's on coastcoastam.com, though. A modest proposal. Should we hibernate through the rest of the pandemic? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I say yes. Motherfuckers. Yes. Would you love to go into homeostasis and just like wake up when it's all over? Wake me up when pandemic ends. Yes. Hell yeah. We're about to face a very bleak winter due to COVID-19. Oh my God. It is going to get worse, but it might get better when people are inside because it's snowing outside. It possibly might get better. They say if we can induce torpor in humans, we could sleep through the whole thing. That would be amazing. That's according to Motherboard. Yeah, really. That would be great. It's a good thought. Scientists claim to explain how and why there is a black hole in the center of the Earth. What the hell? It is hypothesized that the black hole in the center of the Earth is the size of a grain of sand, but it weighs. This is weird. Let's see. I started to read that part, and it weighs the size of what? Now, of course, I go to the article, and that sentence is gone. Oh, wow. This is really weird. This is a very weird idea. Huh. Yeah, now I can't see it. Well, I'm going to go back. It's the weight of the moon. Oh my God. So it's the size of a grain of sand, but it is the weight of the whole moon. Is that if it's a hollow moon or not? Because that's been theorized. But still, what? How and why there's a black hole in the center of the Earth? It was just too much. It's boggling my mind. I think reading that article, I'll come out of it feeling super high. Very odd. Scientists reveal more about volcanic eruption that rocked the ancient Mayan world. Oh, well, there we go. That's the Tierra Blanca Joven. Yeah, okay, so now we know. It's in the Mayan country, so probably North Guatemala or South Mexico. All right, jet suit paramedic takes Lake District test flight. Okay, well, Richard Browning, the inventor, he put on a potentially life-saving suit through its paces in a groundbreaking exercise. Very strange. Jet suit. That's what the Jetsons wear. Heat tourism. People are traveling to Death Valley for selfies with extreme thermometer readings. Wow. Heat tourism. What? Well, you know what? I have actually heard of radiation tourism. See how close you dare to get, to places in like Chernobyl, for example, or Hiroshima, Japan. So I don't doubt that people are doing heat tourism. What the hell? That's weird. While most people just see extremely high temperatures as an excuse to stay indoors, for some people it is a perfect opportunity for a memorable selfie, according to Oddity Central. Very interesting. In photos, what is it like living with Abel-Ferron macrostomia syndrome? It is a rare and debilitating disorder, and I don't know what that is. I guess she did a series of pictures so we could see. If you're interested in that, coastcoastam.com. You can go check that out. Venus might be habitable today if not for Jupiter. Jealous much, Jupiter? I mean... Venus might not be a sweltering, waterless hellscape today if Jupiter hadn't altered its orbit around the sun. Well, that just sounds like sibling rivalry trying to get, the sun's attention. Or in this case, the sun is the dad. Weird. Okay. Let's just move on. It's not magic. Mysterious fairy circles are built by grasses. Regular barren patches that pop up in grasslands in Australia and Namibia have long created controversy. So I've just called them always fairy rings. So to think they're just built by grass, that's a little anticlimactic, isn't it? Neanderthal genes might be to blame for some of the most severe coronavirus cases. A gene variant was inherited by modern humans from the Neanderthals when they interbred 60,000 years ago. So I think it's not necessarily the Neanderthal genes that's to blame, but rather the sleeping of the brothers and sisters together. I mean, interbreeding people. That's the way to bury the lead. That's the reason. That would be the reason, not the fact that they're Neanderthals. The fact that they slept with their siblings. Oh, Arkansas much? Gosh. Okay, that's not unfair. And if you're from Arkansas, I apologize. I have family in Arkansas. We always joke about it, but it didn't happen in our family. It probably doesn't happen in a whole lot of families, but it has happened, right? It has happened. But just sorry about that, guys. Well, all right. How NASA's new telescope can help astronomers discover free floating worlds. The Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope will be able to detect small, distant planets that don't have stars. Wow, interesting. Free floating worlds without stars. To tether them. Huh. Interesting. Space Force. Anything that starts with Space Force is hilarious to me. Have you guys seen that show on Netflix? It's pretty funny. Space Force announces plans for a moon base and robots. Of course. And next after that on the list would be the Sharks with the frickin' laser beams on their head. And then that in my mind sparks $1 million, Mr. Bigglesworth. Okay, I'm just like conglomerating all of Austin Powers at once. All right, so we already have sophisticated robots doing important and complex security functions in space. So let's just have a moon base and robots on the moon. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Thank you for letting us hear from you, Space Force. Yeah. So, there are surprising downsides to empathy. Are you all surprised? According to BBC Future, there is a dark side to feeling the emotions of other people. And in some cases, it can even lead to cruelty, aggression, and distress. Well, yeah, obviously. If you are an empath, you know. I know. We all know if we're part of that. Ooh, if that's our way of showing up in the world, yeah, it is. It can be very stressful. And if people know that they hurt you through their emotions, then they will sometimes it just makes it worse, sometimes. Antarctica could melt irreversibly due to climate change, according to a study that is warning us it will take thousands of years, but we only have 100 years to stop it. I don't know, can we? It seems like we can't, but if we can, let's try. At the edge of time, there was a litter of galactic puppies. What? These stories are getting weirder and weirder. I know I'm not getting higher and higher. I know I'm seeing what I'm saying. The discovery of a black hole. Another thing with the black holes already. That's a theme among the weird news. Black hole news. A discovery of a black hole surrounded by proto-galaxies provides astronomers with a rare glimpse of the web of matter permeating the cosmos. Well, that is a litter of galactic puppies. What? It just seems like I thought black holes were supposed to suck everything up, but now they're saying there might be also like a doorway or a wormhole. Last week, I read an article about that. Texas company aims to 3D print buildings on the moon with Project Olympus. I think I heard something about this before. That's good. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. A NASA probe might have found signs of life on Venus 40 years ago. Wait, what? 40 years ago? So they're just now looking at the data to our sister planet, and it might contain overlooked evidence. for the gas phosphine, which is a potential biosignature. Well, does it even matter now that Russia has claimed Venus as their own planet? As if you can do that? Physicists build circuit that generates clean, limitless power from graphene. Ooh. Oh, well, see, here we go. Let's redeem myself with Arkansas. A team of University of Arkansas physicists have successfully developed a circuit capable of capturing graphene's thermal motion and converting it into an electrical current. Good. That's interesting. Limitless power. Wow. Well, Dan Aykroyd's love of the afterlife and the paranormal and his obsession with all things in these realms, he said it was passed down. That's why he's so attracted to the paranormal. It was passed down probably through his family. Yeah, I mean, I think I just came across it naturally. I'm just a weird person in general. But I did certainly pass it down to my children. Reports of a rising UFO sightings around the world are greatly exaggerated, they say. The pandemic has not sparked a shocking rise in UFO sightings, according to astronomy. Well, I'm going to beg to differ, and let's move on. Let's see. Is there anything else interesting? The UK's UFO files reveal West Midlands sightings. Recently declassified government documents include 24 reports of UFOs over Worcestershire. Well, we all know they're there for the sauce, right? Worcestershire sauce. Okay, so a majority of respondents support chimeric animal research. 60% of all people in a new study on attitudes in the United States felt comfortable using animals to grow human organs from induced pluripotent stem cells. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to move on, but that's weird. It used to be a multi-billion-dollar industry until this year, and it was smashed by the coronavirus crisis, and now passenger liners are stripped for scrap in a Turkish dock in a COVID cruise ship graveyard. That is odd. So, very strange. All right, I think we're going to stop here. There's more stuff that we can do for next week. But we're at the end of the second hour already. That went fast. This was a fun one. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode and this week's episodes of Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. I wanted to remind you to please share and share wide. Tell everybody you know, all of your groups on Facebook. Thank you for those of you who've already added Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast, to your stories and your mentions, and a shout out for a shout out. I'll give you one back. Thank you for those of you who've put me on Instagram and Twitter, as well as your Facebook feeds, and as well as your Facebook groups. I really need that. If you guys are willing to take 5 or 10 minutes, if you enjoy my show, you want to take 5 or 10 minutes out of your weekend and just put it out there to all of your groups that have millions of people. Say, hey guys, check out this podcast. I tried to do it again today, and again, they just say, no, you can't self-promote. You get kicked out of the group for self-promotion. But if you guys promote me, then we all get to stay in the group. Yay, win, win, win. And then I can continue to make the show, and that's important, of course. So anyway, thank you to you guys. Thank you. I love each and every one of you. No show can exist without its listeners. So I wanted to thank you for that. And if I have helped you in some way, and maybe I've given you a greater insight, maybe I have collapsed years of potential therapy in just a few short, incited, filled episodes. If I have indeed helped you, you may send donations to mermaidgirl888@gmail.com on PayPal. or to metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com on PayPal. So thank you so much for your ongoing continuing support. And I am still working on some things for you guys, hopefully for next week. Fingers crossed. So I will be back on Monday when we will continue with the Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East book, part 2. If you missed it, you need to go back and listen to it because, this is all chock full of miracles and a lot of different men performing them. And this is by the team of research scientists that documented the whole thing over 100 years ago. And so it's good insight for those of us that want to learn how to instantly manifest everything we want, just like that. Anyway, I will be back on Monday with all unique and original programming, just like always. I bid you adieu, and I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend or week, depending on when you listen to this. I love you guys. Keep rising up. I'm signing off now with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.